After reading about the information about what a radical is and what parts of it, we're now going to do some evaluating radicals without a calculator. So for a here, the square root of 36, from my multiplication though, I know that 6 is equal to 6 times 6, so the square root of 36 is equal to 6. B, 4 root 10,000. So there's 4 numbers multiplied by themselves to give me 10,000. So I know this is 100 times 100, which is 10 times 10, and 10 times 10. So there's 4 tens when multiplied together equal 10,000. So the 4 root of 10,000 is equal to 10. C, 2.25. Once again, I'm looking for a number that will multiply by itself to give me 2.25. So factor it out. 5 goes into there. 5 goes into 24 times. 25 left over. 5 goes into there. 9, and then 3 times 3. So I know that there's a 3, and there's a 3, there's a 5, and there's a 5. So 5 times 3 is 15. But there's a decimal there, so I would say 2 square root 25 is equal to 1.5. D, we have 4 root negative 16. Now if I plug that in my calculator, which I can't do, what 4 numbers multiply itself gives you a negative? So I know negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2 will give me 16, but when I go negative 2 times negative 2 is 4, times negative 2 is negative 8, times negative 2 is 16, positive 16, so that one. So there's no radicals or no roots for that one. And then E, 3 root 27 over 125. So once again, what numbers give me 27? There's 3 of them. I know it's 3 times 3 times 3. 125 is 5 times 5 times 5, so 3 root 27 over 125 is equal to 3 over 5. F, 5 root 32 negative, so negative 2 goes in there 16 times, negative 2 goes in there 8 times, negative 2 goes in there 4 times, and negative 2 goes into there 2 times. So they're all negative. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 root negative 32 is equal to negative 2. Now this one and this one are different. Positive, negative can't work. Odd number and a negative will work. So even number and negative does not work. Odd number and a negative does work. G, 4 root 0.125. So once again, 0.5, and this is 0.25. This is 0.5, and this is equal to 5.5, and that doesn't work. So that's this we can't do off our head. That's an X. H, 4 root 625. 25 times 25, 5 times 5, and 5 times 5. So 4 root 625 is equal to 5. Okay, so some of these questions you can know off by hand. Other ones you're going to have to do a little deciphering, a little factor tree, which you did in Unit 3. Next one we're going to look at is estimating roots. Once again, you're going to estimate. You're going to take a guess at what you think they are. So when I look at this one, what's the square root of 8? I know that it's found between the square root, let's see, 2 times 2 is equal to 4, so the square root of 4 is equal to 2. I know 3 times 3 is equal to 9, so the square root of 9 is equal to 3. So 8 is somewhere in between the square root of 4 and the square root of 9. So 8 is closer to the square root of 9, so I would say the square root of 8 is close to being 2.8. So this is an estimate. I'm just estimating. I'm taking a guess on how it looks. So it doesn't have to be exact if I do not have access to that calculator. 3 root 15. So let me try 2 to the power of 3 is equal to 8. So that means 3 root 8 is equal to 2. So 3 to the power of 3 is equal to 27. So the square root of 27 is equal to 3. So 15 is in between those two. So between 8 and 15 there's 7 steps. Between 15 and 27 there's 12 steps. So it's it's not halfway. It's going to be lower to 2. So I would say the cube root of 15 is probably 2.3. Cube root of 9, so once again I could use what I did up in here, so 2 root 3 is equal to 8, which means the cube root of 8 is equal to 2. 3 root 3, or 3 to the power of 3 is equal to 27, so the square root of 27 is equal to 3. 9 is a lot closer to 8. So I would say the cube root of 9 is equal to 2.1. Okay, 4 root 17. So let's go 2 to the power of 4 is equal to 16. So the square root of 16 is equal to 2 to the power of 4. 2. And so that means this root 3 to the power of 4 is equal to 81, so the square root of 81 is equal to 3. So 17 is a lot closer to 16. So once again, I would say this 4 root 17 is closer to 2.1. Same with 10 here. If I got 2 to the power of 4 is equal to 16, so 4 root 16 is equal to 2, and 10 is less than that, so 1 root 4 is equal to 1, so this 4 root 1 is equal to 1, so 10 is between 2 and 1 here. 10 is a lot closer to 16 at 26 spaces, where it's 9, so I would say it's over half, so 4 root 10 would be 2.6, something like that, or sorry, not 2.1. 1.6 because 2 is too high. The square root of negative 20, so once again I need the square root. Now once again it's an even number outside, negative inside. You can never do that, so there's no roots, no numbers that can equal a negative when it multiplies by itself. It by itself. So negative 2 times negative 2 is 4. Negative 5 times negative 5 is 25. Everything's positive, so it doesn't work.